Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about some things. Actually, one thing that's distressed me a little bit is fake astrologer accounts. This is something that has become more prevalent in recent time. I don't know precisely when, but it may be in the last 6 to 12 months, perhaps. There's been appears to be some proliferation of fake astrologer accounts, which include YouTube astrologer accounts. Somebody had impersonated me on Twitter, and what was done was I had my Twitter account set on public, and I thought everything was all hunky dory. And one day, somebody tried to send me something through PayPal, right? And the imposter of me intercepted the PayPal payment, and that person got the money. And believe it, I mean, the person was reported, but the thing is, I didn't wind up getting the funds as a result. And the uh, the thing about it is that person used my name, and basically, I mean, they used my profile picture that I have on Twitter, and they used my name, except they changed like one letter in it. They made it look, it was very subtle. I even when I first glanced at it, I thought the spelling was the same as my name. And it's a shame these people that are very these shrewd, I call them criminals really, because that's what they are. um, why that they can't apply that toward doing something legal and positive and productive for themselves. What I want to get at, though, is I'm sure many astrologers out there are cognizant and aware of what's going on as far as this goes. I'm bringing this out here, though, just in case there may be a few of you that may not have heard about this, and just be on the lookout and try to just whatever you got to do. Google your name periodically. Go, if you have an account, whatever social media accounts you have your profile on, search that, and you'll see if there's any duplicate profiles of your account, and of course report it immediately, without any procrastination or hesitation, of course. But the thing about this is that some people may not worry about it. Oh, it's no big deal. People make fake accounts all the time. But the thing about it is, some people it could affect to their detriment, and I mean big time. It's like if you can have, and I think there was at least one of these people that was impersonating another astrologer that was trying to do some business and get money, and claim that they had the astrologer credentials and expertise. It can be detrimental to the person's the actual true astrologer's pocketbook, for one thing. Another thing is, let's say you take one of these imposters out there, and they say, they say something really bad or slanderous or negative about somebody else. That person that the remark was directed to may get into it with the real astrologer, and might cause problems between those two people. And it could cause some dissension. This is something, and it would cause some animosity and friction between those people. And to me, there are reasons, I mean, to take it seriously, and it's not something that needs to be brushed under the rug. And if you allow these people to do this and not report it, what it does is it gives other people more incentive and impetus to keep making these fake profiles, and to just we gotta work together. And if we see, even if it's not pertaining to us specifically, and somebody sees a fake profile, say of me, and you have reason to believe it's not me, or I see a profile and it looks like it's not the person that it's supposed to be, then I could report it. And thing is, we could work together. I mean, we don't even have to communicate with each other. Most of the YouTube astrologers, I don't communicate with them. They don't communicate with me. That's not a big thing. I mean, I've been used to that over the years. I've had my YouTube astrology channel for about 9 years now. And I'm not really anticipating to win any popularity contests with anybody really that much in the near future. Um, Maybe some of it's attributed to having my comments disabled, but that then so be it. But at the same time, we could still work together, and we're all part of this community. And whether you're a YouTube astrologer or or even another astrologer, or even a non-YouTube astrologer even, or just a fan, and you see something suspicious, by all means report it. Or if you're not really sure if it's the actual authentic person or not, then what you can do, there's certain things you could do, and I'll give you some examples. Well, if you see a profile you're skeptical of, look and see the duration of the profile. A lot of the profiles on social media will say when the person joined. If it's a very recent profile, there would be more reason, of course, for skepticism and suspicion. But like in my case, I have a Facebook profile that's been up since like 2008. 2008 or 2009. I think it's 2008. So that would be like 13 years. So it's safe to say that profile would be real, because it would have been likely taken down if it had not been real. By at some point in 13 years, somebody would have realized, been cognizant of the fact that it was a fake profile, and they would have said, hey, it would be gone. Another thing you can do, and it depends on who's receptive to this or not, you could ask somebody, say on Facebook, for example, where they have the Facebook chat enabled and available, is see if you can get a minute convo with that person. And if they can show you through the video, and it's coming from that account, and you see the actual person of that astrologer that's associated with that astrologer, then it's a true authentic account. Or there are other things. So it's got, or you can even get that person to send a new picture of themselves, maybe timestamp or something, where you hold up a sign, and I could hold a sign up and say, hi such and such, and write the date on the sign that I'm holding, and that would be pretty authentic. That's pretty irrefutable evidence that it would be me. Then that would be the person that you're speaking with. And the thing is, nobody's immune to this, and the fact that I didn't think somebody would have any reason to make a fake profile. I mean, the reasons, of course, are manifold. You have some jealous haters out there. They have people that might have animosity toward a YouTube astrologer, a regular astrologer, that might be making a fake profile of him or her just to get at the person. Of course, there's other reasons for it. Some people, I do believe, they make these profiles because they're just dissatisfied with who they are. They are not happy with who they are as a person. So what they do is, it's like they're vicariously living through somebody else's life and their experiences. And my advice, if any of you people out there that are creating these fake profiles and you see this, you just got to get your own life and establish your own legacy. And don't try to ruin somebody else's. That just, in the end, what it's reflecting is that you're just, you're a miserable, unhappy person that has nothing else to do but cause problems for, person that's not even doing anything to you. That's really what it comes down to. And the thing is, it's just about really, and crime doesn't pay. There's a lot of cases there can be repercussions, legal repercussions, if it is traced to the actual person, whether it's however they do, through IP address or whatever means that it's done. People that are habitual offenders, eventually most people do get caught eventually. And I look back on that I call the interception of my a PayPal payment that was supposed to go to me. I wonder if that was just done. I mean, that was obviously done more for a monetary reason it might have been done to get at me to some degree, but maybe if they were getting money, it was done to get some funds. And that person, of course, had blocked me, whoever created the fake profile of me on Twitter. And what happened was, as a result of that, unfortunately, I had to make an adjustment. I wound up putting my profile on Twitter on the private setting where only those current followers could see my material, my tweets that I put up, and only I mean I could always accept people that that have a that choose to follow me. But the thing about it is those it's only the followers that can see it now. So if anybody is to do something like that to me now, I know it would be one of my it's obviously one of my followers that may have changed his or her name to me. So that's something you can do if you're on Twitter and you want to protect yourself and your own as far as things like money being sent to you as an example, or you're trying to maybe kind of narrow down as to who might have created the fake profile to you, or reduce the propensity for it, what have you, is to put your profile on a private setting if you haven't already done it. Now the problem, hold on a minute, people. The problem with that, I understand there's a lot of people that may not want to do that, because what it is you have especially the very prominent astrologers, whether they're YouTube astrologers or just astrologers in general, that may not be putting anything on YouTube. A lot of the real famous ones out there may want their um, profile on public, because in order to keep getting the continual exposure for their material, and I understand that. But my advice would be, if you're able to put it on private, if you can, and you have less, possible information out there that can be used against you. I think what happened in my case, somebody got wind that I was creating a fundraiser for myself. It was, homeless plight I had, and what happened was they saw that, and they probably were waiting on the moment when someone would tweet to me and say, "Here, Edwin, what is your information?" And what happened was, in this case, that person answered with his or her PayPal information. And sadly, one of my followers had gone with that and said, "Okay, okay, Edwin, I'm gonna send this to that email." So another thing is, if you're going to conduct any business like that, it's probably best to do it through a PM, through a private message, as opposed to putting it out there blatantly, or somebody else could see it. You get some criminal, corrupt person out there that takes advantage of that information. I don't know if I really have too much more to say on this at this point in time. This video is mainly done to get this message out there, and to have people become more cognizant, more aware of what is going on, and for us in the astrological community to work together and see if we see anything suspicious. We're not 100% sure. Check with the maybe what you could do is, if you're not, if it's something where you're like 50-50, is this account real or not? Try to do one of those things I talked about before, one of those methods of trying to have seen whether this person can be real or not, such as their tenure on the account, how long they've been there, or requesting something which would verify who he or she is, and that it's that person, that it is that person in question. These are just small things you can do, and to protect yourself as well, because you don't want to conduct business with these people and wind up getting scammed and having the wrong person do your chart, as an example, and giving your funds to somebody that does not deserve it. And again, I reiterate what I believe I said before, is that really people, anybody that sees this that's a scammer that's been doing this, my advice is try to live a better life, and don't you're causing problems for astrologers out there. What good is that going to do? You can use your smarts to get some kind of work, or go to college. You go to college and get some kind of position. I don't know if a lot of these people that do this don't really have a regular job or what have you, and they're trying to find some quick way to make money by being cunning and scheming or what have you. But it's certainly crime. Again, crime does not pay, And it's really, it's really, it's not a good thing to be doing something like that to innocent people, and just to hurt them just for the, just so you can get some monetary gain, or you can just cause problems for them just because maybe you don't like their style. There's something about the astrologer you don't really appreciate. But in most cases, I don't think, these people probably have not even done anything to you personally. In most cases, at least that would be, sure that would be the case, and that you would have really no reason to be doing this, to try to hurt anybody, and it's illegal anyway. So even if the person had said something, say, you had an astrologer that said something derogatory about you one time, you had an argument or rift with him or her, it doesn't give you the right to go out and do something illegal to that person. And the best thing to do if you have a problem with, whether it's a YouTube astrologer or non-YouTube astrologer, is to try to talk it out with him or her and try to resolve, um, the issue, and do it the right, the legal manner. And anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.